have with me here today Dana Garrity and Megan Bellato, and we're going to be talking about the Mastics-Moriches-Shirley library system, and we were fortunate enough to participate in a couple of ribbon cuttings earlier this year. So I want to talk about maybe some highlights from the project for the two of you. You know, in the broadest sense, you know, they passed an almost $23 million bond in December 2019, and that was for, you know, 2 new buildings and a renovation of their existing main library. So, you know, from your perspective, like, what do these new libraries mean to the communities that they're going to be serving?
So the library decided to expand their existing location, being that it's such in a grand population of where they're serving. So with the bond passing, you know, renovating of the existing building, but then having 2 branch locations for other people throughout the community to be able to access was really important to the community.
Okay, so now the library design itself, and you know, I've often talked to the company about, you know, the need for us to continue to kind of innovate and evolve, and libraries, whenever I talk about libraries, you know, I always think about how I utilized libraries years ago, and community needs are so different today. How they access information is so different today, and I'm sure it's an opportunity for the library system to be very forward-thinking if they're going to be designing new spaces. So, you know, whether it's, you know, elements of innovation or technology, what are some of the unique aspects of the libraries that we designed?
So for this project, the community itself and the programs that the library offers is unlike any other. They were really outgrowing their main space, so program spaces was really important to them. So going into the process, flexibility was key to them. Libraries are really shifting in the way of being community centers, not necessarily places to check out books, and yes, that's still an option, but options to come in and come to the programs, experience the spaces, get together and gather for different events. So with that, part of our process was doing a raised floor. So in both of the buildings, Mastic Beach, the addition has the raised floor, and then Moriches, the entire building has the raised floor. So they have the flexibility to be able to move the electric, IT, AV systems around so they can change the layout as needed.
Wow.
So when working through the design with them, flexibility was important. Where we designed the building that they wanted to change where children's was and flop it with adult, they were able to do that because the theme was consistent throughout. Eventually, the idea is to be able to move the bookcases around and be able to make it a more flexible space. So they really wanted to be innovative in that and be able, flexibility was key. We also designed for future-proofing for a book sorter room, so they're able to have patrons come, drop off the books, and have a machine sort everything for that. So when they're ready, they're able to install that into their book sorter rooms in both of the buildings.
It's really interesting. Other innovative aspects?
Movable glass partitions to divide space open to make larger spaces or smaller spaces. Both buildings were designed for both glass and then solid partitions too, to be movable for privacy. And then we also designed outdoor program space at both locations. So it's just another extension of the library for patrons to go outside and have other types of program spaces for kids or adults and whoever else might visit.
So one of the things I think that are like clearly becoming much more prevalent is opportunities for people to go and get retrained and learn new skills and things like that. And often in communities, libraries are places that people, you know, now go, and organizations will come to libraries and say, hey, can we utilize your space because, you know, we want to develop a new certificate program or a new, you know, maybe a kind of a technology program. Was that discussed with you guys as one of the potential needs for the libraries?
So at Mastic Beach, there is a secondary entrance that they could use after hours. Say if someone wanted to rent out their meeting room and use it, where it's connected to toilet rooms, but then it's separate from the rest of the library. So having those program spaces was very important to them, and being able to have the community access to that space.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Did everybody, let me look at all the cameras. Did you get all that?
Yeah, and the library currently had a great extension of programs that they offered: adult education and kids programs. Yeah, so they already were offering that, and it was just a need for more space to be able to continue doing that.
And also reach more in their community. Like being on William Floyd and being in the location that they're in, there's not many opportunities for outside program spaces. So that was one thing that they really stressed the importance of having that space, being able to have water hookups and electric to be able to do different activities with its kids or adults in those different areas. So those things were very important to them to expand their already extensive programs that they have.
That's great stuff. So we spoke a lot about the positive impact of the community. Clearly that this is going to be an asset, and sometimes libraries actually provide identity for communities. So I think we, from an HO mission perspective, the community is checked up. How's the client feel? Is the client, are they excited? Are they, they're at a great place right now because they now have these two brand new annex and branch buildings done and in use, right? They're being utilized now as they're in the midst of renovating the main building. So what's the perspective of the client right now?
They're very positive, very excited. They've already seen an increase in their patron new cards.
They have the opportunity where they border in some of the spaces where they could pick Center Moriches or the Mastics-Moriches-Shirley Community Library. So they're seeing an influx of patrons coming, and just the excitement that you see at the ribbon cuttings and the way the board and all of the staff are talking about it. They're excited to get into the new space, having more program space, being able to do more, and really challenging what they were doing previously and being able to provide more for the community.
So how is the main library renovation going, and when are we scheduled to finish that?
There are exterior walls, there are interior walls. They're getting ready to start sheetrocking, so they have all like electrical and plumbing ran in the walls, and they're ready to start enclosing it and get to the finished stage. So,
Oh, great.
Yeah.